Now? Now maybe there's audio? Maybe? Possibly? Hi, my name is Mike. I'm not for Coltrane. Welcome to your Coltrane Tuesdays for this, the 9th day of April in the year 2024 of the Common Era. So there you go. So I was very happily surprised I was able to actually start the stream on time, but then realized, oh wait, there's no audio. Fortunately, turned out to be an easy thing to fix this time, but it looks like the video and audio are now functioning, which is good. So we can do the thing that we do here on the live stream. We are continuing our series of A is for April, Asia, and Africa, with a song that goes touches on all sorts of places around the world, though it is primarily a story about an individual in West Africa. And also, we are going to play a round of the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game. Hi, Mike, not a Coltrane. Yes, not a Coltrane. Yes. Anyway, I'm a little confused because, in part, my experience today is going to take us through multiple languages, and we're going to see how that goes. But first, let me tell you how we play the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game. Folks who are live online with us, such as Mark, oh hey, and Beth, will will be able to give me a request, give me song requests, to which I will have to respond right here live on the webcast, regardless of whether I happen to know the song that was requested. So if someone requests a song that I do kind of sort of know, or if someone requests a song that I do just know that I've played before, I will try to remember how to play it here in front of everyone. If someone requests a song that I sort of know, like I've heard it a bunch, but I've never actually tried to play it myself, I will have to try to figure out how to play it, or something resembling it. Or perhaps the requested song will be something that I don't recognize at all, in which case I will have to make up a brand new song right here on the spot, with the same name as the song that was requested, thereby technically satisfying the requirement. That is how we play the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game, and we will see how that goes. But we are first going to start with a song of my choosing as part of our theme. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Beth. I'm glad you like this tie with this shirt. I was trying to think of a combination. Yes, I agree, Beth. I think it was when I was wearing this tie with the brown shirt. That was it was a bolder choice, let's say. So, through the month of April, we are leading off with songs that mention or talk about in some notable way locations in Asia and or Africa. And today we are doing a song, or I guess I'm doing a song, and you're going to participate vicariously through this song, which is called Senegal Fast Food. As I mentioned, it is a song that is in multiple languages. We'll see let's see if you can figure out what. Let's see. Let me find some of my notes here. There it is. Okay, so I can know what the different languages are called. But since it's a song by what should I say? This is a song by Amadou and Miriam, who are a couple from Mali in, I can say that's West Africa. The song at the end is called Senegal Fast Food, and it features prominently the producer they were working with on this album, and is credited as a collaborator on this song, Manu Chao, who is also a significant force in the world music scene. We're going to see how this goes with the minimal rehearsal that I put into it. All right, so let's see how this goes. The song is, again, Senegal Fast Food. Yes, world fast food. And all right, let's see how this goes. And that's up. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do that again because I don't like where the shakers are in the mix. And that's not something I can fix later. So let's go ahead and do this. That's better. Something which I neglected to mention, I'll mention to it now. There are 9 different countries, or locations in 9 different countries in this song that are mentioned, across 5 continents. My challenge to you is to recognize them as they come up and see if you can shout them out in the chat. Manhattan, fast food, Dakar, Sénégal, cinéma, et Paris, dimanche sur les parties, la gare, Dakar, Bamako, mon petit, pas de problème, tout va bien. Aujourd'hui je me marie, j'ai confiance, amour solo, Gao, Algérie, Tunisie, l'Italie, pas de problème, j'aime. En Manhattan, fast food, Dakar, Sénégal, cinéma, et Paris, ascenseur pour les gâteaux, il est minuit à Tokyo, il est 5 heures au Mali, quelle heure est-il? Au paradis, non, il est minuit à Tokyo, il est 5 heures au Mali, quelle heure est-il? Au paradis. Sénégal, promesse, l'hôpital d'Antec, tout va bien carré. Toi ici, toi là-bas, l'église attention à ma numéro 39. J'attends, il est actif, déjà deux. Allez, t'as ces 20 villes, déjà 2 millions, déjà. Try the one again. Allez, t'as suivi déjà. Allez, t'as sévi, déjà 2 millions. Déjà 2000 ans en matin. Allez, t'as Séville, déjà l'an 2000, déjà 2000 ans. En Manhattan, fast food, Dakar, Sénégal, cinéma et Paris. Cinéma et Paris. Il est minuit à Tokyo, il est 5 heures au Mali, quelle heure est-il? Au paradis, non, il est minuit à Tokyo, il est 5 heures au Mali, quelle heure est-il? Au paradis, non. Bamako, Rio de Janeiro. Où est la problème? Où est la frontière? Entre les murs, Sophie les dents, ascenseur pour les ghettos. En Manhattan, fast food, Dakar, Sénégal, cinéma et Paris. Cinéma et Paris. Aumeme, Nico Inan, Sitani, l'autre bala. Aumeme, Dubala. Senegal fast food. I've always struggled with saying numbers in French. I've spent a lot of time studying French in my lifetime, and I've spent, it is always difficult, and I knew it last night when I was working on the lyrics, that I shouldn't have just written 2000. I should have actually spelled out the words 2000, which would be 2000, because when it goes through, so the actual line is, à l'état civil, déjà l'an 2000, déjà 2000 ans, which is fairly clever. It means I'm at the consulate, not the consulate, the he's working on getting a passport. He's been there since the year 2000. He's been there 2,000 years, is how that line actually goes. So there you go. So that is which come around again on. Oh, want to cover more French songs? Love it. Oh, thanks. People are being very generous in the comments. So, how many countries did people recognize? Let's go back. Embassy. Embassy is probably something like that. Let's see. If anyone, Senegal, France, Algeria. That's right. All of those. See if anyone picked up any of the other countries as we're going through it now. So there's a lot there, and it goes rather fast, and as you've determined, it is mostly in French, but not entirely in French. Folks who do speak some French will realize that there are segments that are definitely not French. I have no idea what that was. Well, it turns out that is a language called Bambara, which is the most commonly spoken language in Mali. So so let me say this first. The music video that Manu Chao and Amadou and Miriam made for this song helps illustrate more of what's going on. Some of the one of the lines that appears multiple times in the song is Manhattan fast food, Dakar, Senegal, Cinéma Le Paris. So it sounds Paris, so it's France, as Margot noted. Manhattan is Manhattan, of course. So it literally says Manhattan fast food, Dakar, Senegal. Dakar is in fact the largest city in Senegal. Senegal is on the west coast of Africa. Dakar is the largest city. It is right there on the coast. Cinéma Le Paris. Cinema, it turns out, based on what I could see in the music video, there's an actual street food stand, presumably in Dakar, called Manhattan Fast Food. And there's also an actual movie theater in Dakar, presumably, called Cinéma Le Paris, or the Paris Cinema, or the Paris Movies. So so that certainly was a sort of like, wait, what? And realizing that some of the locations that are mentioned here are in fact referring to, although they are named for locations outside of Senegal, they are actually in Dakar, Senegal. So that aside, I'm not going to do a literal translation throughout the song because it is in fact more kind of impressionistic than that. It does tell a story, but it tells it in sort of just little snippets of it and sort of implications as to what's going on. So what I'm going to deliver to you is in fact much more straightforward narrative than what the song would suggest. But so there's a person, presumably a guy, who is the speaker of the song, and as the song goes through, he actually describes a journey which would go from Dakar on the west coast of Africa, and then into Mali. Mali is just to the east of Senegal. Goes through the towns of Bamako, or the cities rather. Bamako is quite a large city in Mali. Then Mopti, then up across Algeria, then Tunisia, Tunisie, then Italy. You can see how this journey goes up across Africa, across the Sahara, up through Algeria and Tunisia, and into Europe, indicating that where's the journey is supposed to go. Along the way, there are also several other cities that are mentioned. Tokyo is mentioned, so catching us with Japan, and Rio de Janeiro, as you would say in French, which is, of course, not exactly how they would say it in Portuguese, which is what they speak in Brazil, where Rio de Janeiro is. And so I believe that is all of the countries we mentioned: Senegal, Mali, Algeria, Tunisia, Italy, Paris, United States for Manhattan, as well as Brazil with Rio de Janeiro. He also, it's what is also indicated. So like he starts out the song that he's like, everything's fine, I'm doing all right, I'm getting married, no problems, things are going great. Then he talks about waiting at the, I guess literally the word is consulate or embassy. I'm not sure that's exactly where one would go to get a passport, but that's the basic idea. It's at a state office, civil service office, trying to get a passport where he's waiting for a very, very long time. And then mentions, what's the problem? Where's the border? And then I'm just sort of hanging out, waiting around. A couple times there's a phrase, ascenseur pour les ghettos, which means elevator for the ghetto, presumably elevator to get out of the ghetto. That line also always makes me laugh a little bit because ghetto sounds very much like the word gâteau, which means cake. So I'm thinking elevator for the cake, but that's not actually what we're talking about. The implication, which is made more explicit in the music video, is that it's a guy who is he's getting married and he's trying to get to the country where his bride or bride-to-be is going to be as well. Oh yes, there's another line that says, I am here, you're there, it's all good. So in the music video, the guy and his intended or maybe wife, it's not entirely clear at what point during the music video or if during the music video they are actually married, but he's clearly reassuring her things are fine, we're going to do it all right, it's great, we're going to be together, it's fine. He tries to get the passport. He's waiting for a very, very long time. He eventually gives up, and after consulting with a soothsayer to try to indicate the likelihood of his success, apparently just hoofs it on foot and crosses at least one or more borders without papers, and ends up in what appears to be a European country where he's stopped by police, and they point out that he doesn't actually have valid papers and he's led away. So the song itself is ambiguous in terms of what actually happens, but the music video is rather explicit in like, no, this didn't go well. The chorus, which is in Bambara, trying to find the actual lyrics in Bambara has been very, very challenging, and I spent a long time trying to come up with, to try to figure out what exactly they're saying. The gist of what they're saying is clear because finding the French version, so the French translation of the chorus, is pretty straightforward. The basic idea is those of us who leave our country, who leave our hometown, the children of that country, of our town, must not forget us. We who are in this thing which none of us can name. And that's what it says. So this idea, so whereas the verses suggest an idea of not quite first person, but basically describing this individual on his attempted journey, that there's sort of a third person inserted in these choruses that talk about, this is something that so many of us have experienced or are going through. Don't forget us. Don't forget this part of our experience, even though some of us are leaving. I think the idea of elevator for the ghetto, it implies also the idea of people who are leaving the country for economic reasons. This is a way to get us out of poverty, to go to some place where the wages are better than what are available here. So, there you go. That is all sorts of, let's see how we're doing in the chat here. Yes. So, and I haven't even really talked a whole lot about the performers. I'll do some very brief mentions of that. But I will first say that it is nearly time. It is nearly time for us to do the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game. So now is a great time to get in your requests. Again, in case you missed the top of the show, the way the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game works, people will give me a song request, and I will have to do the song, regardless of whether I know it. So maybe someone will request a song that I have played before, in which case I'll try to remember how to play it. Someone might request a song that I kind of sort of know, in which case I'll try to figure out how to play it. Someone might request a song that I don't know at all, at least I don't recognize the title, in which case I will have to make up a brand new song right here on the spot with the same name as the song that was requested, thereby technically satisfying the requirement. That is how we play the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game. A few other details while you're getting your requests. That Margot says, I love being introduced to songs I never would have come across on my own. I'm not sure I ever would have come across this song on my own if it weren't for our the benefactor who had determined our theme for this month. And I went looking for songs about Africa and or Asia. Amadou and Miriam, they are a couple. They're a husband and wife duo. They met as pretty young people at a school in Mali for the blind. Both of them are blind. They were making music together as through school things, and they're like, we want to keep doing this. So Amadou sings and plays guitar. Miriam sings, and they have developed quite a following on the world stage. They have been they were associated for a little bit with Stevie Wonder, perhaps and perhaps unsurprisingly, but it makes sense. Worked with Stevie Wonder for a little bit, or appeared with him a little bit. Got connected in several decades into their career with Manu Chao, who is himself also not a native French speaker. I should say that both Senegal and Mali were part of the region in Africa that was colonized by and taken over or conquered, I suppose you could say, by the French. So there are plenty of people in Mali and Senegal who do speak French, although it's not really the local language. And from appearances, it seems that Amadou and Miriam do in fact speak French, although again I don't think it's their first language. I understand they write their songs typically in Bambara, which are then and the lyrics are then translated into French, except for when they're not. Sometimes they just sing in Bambara. Manu Chao was actually born in Spain, grew up in France after his family fled the Franco regime in Spain, and Manu Chao does all sorts of songs in all sorts of languages, including French, including Spanish, and this collaboration, he was producing this particular album with Amadou and Miriam, and is quite prominent on this song. In fact, all of the French lyrics are sung at least by him, possibly with others. There's a line there that says, Il est minuit à Tokyo, il est 5 heures au Mali, quelle heure est-il au paradis? Which means, it's midnight in Tokyo, it's 5 o'clock in Mali. What time is it in paradise? Which I understand is actually a quote he lifted from an earlier song of his, which also again seems to fit in the thematically in the sort of the name-checking, the globe-trotting aspect of this particular song. So I'm going to leave it there. I think that is probably more than enough information, but I do recommend looking up more stuff about Manu Chao. I recommend looking up more stuff about Amadou and Miriam, because they are really interesting performers who also don't shy away from talking about justice issues and things in terms of poverty and freedom, and as well as things that are important in daily life. So cool things with that. So now it is time, like I say, for the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game. I'm not seeing any requests just yet, which may mean we need to go into the bag of pre-requested things. Yeah, I didn't notice that Beth had added the emoji for saying that I put her to sleep by talking about the details of this particular song. So I hope I was a little more engaging in this instance. All right, stalling for just a few more moments to see if any live requests might come in. If not, we will go to the very, very dusty cloth bag that has pre-submitted requests. Oh, there is one other thing I should tell you about, which is important. I should probably take this off my hand. This Sunday afternoon, there is a very cool event that I'm working to put together with folks from the Ice House here in Bethlehem. It is a pop-up showcase. We're going to be 3 performers. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be jumping in on each other's songs. The performers include me, Not for Coltrane, but most importantly, Dana Gaynor. You know her from the Dana Gaynor Band, as well as she's been playing with another band that's been doing cool stuff recently called Project 22, as well as Leo Motalis. You know him from the band formerly known as Service Dog, now known as the band Felt Right. They're going to be joining me this Sunday afternoon. we're still working out the details. There's going to be virtual tickets available so people can do it. There's almost certainly going to be a discount if you get tickets before the day of the show, but tickets will also be available on the day of the show. I would love it if you are available to carve out some time this Sunday afternoon and come join us. We probably could also use some volunteers. So, like, hey, if you're available and would like to get in for free, that's cool too. We expect this is going to be also a benefit event, so stay tuned to the social channels for Not for Coltrane and watch for more information about the pop-up showcase at the Ice House in Bethlehem, on Sand Island in Bethlehem, this coming Sunday afternoon. Okay, so play a Dana Gaynor song. The time is still a little bit in flux, but I believe it's going to be 3 o'clock on Sunday. Play a Dana Gaynor song. That's a great idea. I know a Dana Gaynor song. I'm trying to remember what key it is in. So Dana Gaynor, a tremendous guitarist. She has been a fixture for a bit here in the Lehigh Valley music scene. She does a lot of sort of jam band kind of music. Let's see. What key was it in? Let's say it's in the key of C. There is a version of this song that is called Death Comes A-Knockin'. When Death Comes A-Knockin', I believe it's the Dana Gaynor band that has a studio version of this out. The studio version has a very kind of a southern rock, kind of a Little Feat kind of feel to it. When I've seen her play this solo, it has more of a country folky sort of vibe. It made me think of Angel from Montgomery. John Prine. Made me think of John Prine a little bit. I'm going to play it in the key of D. I'm going to bump that up a bit. And I'm going to pick a harmonica that will work with that particular key. I should say also, Dana Gaynor has a lot of wonderful songs, but this is the one that happened to connect with me. That she included it for one of the events I was doing online in years past. And I said, that's pretty cool. Now I need to remember some lyrics. Let's see. Oh man, all of the verses are running together in my head. Let's see. Okay, so that's the third verse. Okay, I've got the third verse. Okay. Oh man, so now I have the first half of the first verse and the first half of the second verse, but I need to remember the second half of each of them, and ideally not switch them. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, and now someone's trying to text me, which is also not particularly helpful at the moment. All right. Let's see. So the how does it go? Man, I may just have to make something up because I'm having trouble remembering how they go. I think I'm gonna have to. Some of these actual lyrics may begin to come to me as we're going along, but I think I'm just going to have to make them up in service of the time. And the chorus goes. This is really very boring to watch. I apologize. All right, so I have the chorus. I do not have the first and second verse put together, but we will make something up to keep things moving. I believe I do have all of the third verse, but we will see what happens. This is an attempt, an entirely unrehearsed attempt, well, except for the time you just saw, of Death Comes A-Knockin' by Dana Gaynor. Well, I woke up this morning to some coffee and the TV news. There were people who were dying, the mamas they were crying, and everyone was singing the blues. But when I look around me at the plight of my fellow man, we best be a moving, 'cause you gotta keep moving on the whole thing. When death come knocking, better smoke 'em if you got 'em, 'cause you might be your very last pack. And if that old Grim Reaper says that you are a keeper, well, you won't be coming back. So up on your toes, better blow your nose and lighten up your bucket list. 'Cause in the wink of an eye, you just might die. It don't get no simpler than this. Every time I turn on my computer, there's people dying everywhere. There were sewer dying and it ain't trying. I gotta get them out of my head. So when I think of all this, I come to a new thought. And we gotta keep moving, and all keeps done, and that's all we got. When death come knocking, better smoke 'em if you got 'em, 'cause it might be your very last pack. And if that old Grim Reaper says that you are a keeper, well, you won't be coming back. So up on your toes, better blow your nose and lighten up your bucket list. 'Cause in the wink of an eye, you just might die. It don't get no simpler than this. I should also note that when Dana has done this song, she sometimes notes that she's saying bucket list with a B, not something else. Well, the moral of my story, the message of my song, is to try to live the best you can, 'cause life ain't very long. So kiss your ever-loving partner, give everybody else a hug, and don't be a when it comes to it, or you're no better than a thug. When death come knocking, better smoke 'em if you got 'em, 'cause it might be your very last pack. And if that old Grim Reaper says that you are a keeper, well, you won't be coming back. So up on your toes, better blow your nose and lighten up your bucket list. 'Cause in the wink of an eye, you just might die. Don't get no simpler than this. Don't get no simpler than this. We don't get no simpler than this. Well, here's hoping Dana Gaynor is still interested in being part of this Sunday's show after she learns about my mangled attempt at her lyrics. But definitely look up Death Comes a Knockin' by Dana Gaynor Band. It is a cool song, as I say, very different from the version that she does as a solo acoustic version. It's sort of a southern rock, Little Feat sort of thing going on. Thanks very much to yes, hopefully Dana Gaynor won't be offended. Won't be Total Eclipse of the Heart from Bonnie Tyler. I will mention this too. This was a sort of a fun thing I saw online earlier. As it happened, the band Heart was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon yesterday, which was of course Eclipse Day. So of course, Heart and Jimmy Fallon did Total Eclipse of the Heart outside during the eclipse. So there you go. I had the request has come in before for Total Eclipse of the Heart, and it has never gone well. So it's just as well that we got the Dana Gaynor song, because for all the lyrical flubs involved there, it definitely was better than things would have been for the Total Eclipse of the Heart. But we'll keep that in mind. So thanks so much to I think it was Beth who requested a Dana. Yes, it was Beth who requested a Dana Gaynor song. I'm grateful for that. Thanks again to, I believe it is Ralph, who had requested the theme for this month, which is A is for April, Asia, and Africa. Next week, I'm going to do another song that mentions another part of Africa, and then we'll keep going from there. We're going to wind up at the end of this month. I have decided, even though that technically we've reached a total of 52 episodes, I believe, in fact, this technically is the 52nd episode, but there have been disjointed and breaks and weirdness in this strange fourth season of the Coltrane Tuesdays show. So we'll continue through the end of April. It will be the last Tuesday in April will be when I finally get to take a break. But the season finale show is going to be all requests for songs about places outside the United States, which could be in Africa or in Asia, but songs about locations outside the United States. So stay tuned for that coming up on the last Tuesday in April. But between now and then, there are yet more songs that are coming up about places in Asia and Africa. So please continue to check out that on your Tuesdays. Thanks so very much to all of you who have been hanging out. Thanks to the folks who are making use of the tip jar links there. I'm always grateful for that. Thanks for hitting the like button or the subscribe button here on YouTube, or sharing this with other people that you think might be entertained or amused by some of the shenanigans that happen here on the live stream. I'm always grateful for you hanging out, whether you're watching it live or on the replay. So please, I hope that you will take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I will see you next time.